Okay, morning. Happy Wednesday, everyone. We'll get the guys going over here in the Discord as well. Share my screen there. Hope that you guys are having a great week so far. We've got quite a few important things to discuss this morning that I do want to go over. Make sure that everyone does know what's up. Perfect. Let's get into it. So yesterday you saw me on edgeful live stream taking the NASDAQ shorts on Monday on live here on stream. That was obviously some nice a nice play, but we got that nice move to the downside. So we took out the opening range low. Okay, we took out the opening range low. I had my stop at the highs here, and we end up getting out at that 670 level, and then again down at 700. Okay, so which was pretty nice. So we got out a nice chunk there, and then again out at the lows. And I had a runner that got out even lower. So very, very nice trade here live on stream on Monday. You can go rewatch that stream. It is on the YouTube channel if you missed it. But now we've kind of just been trading in the range. So if we just go to the ES chart from yesterday, I was flat. And the reason I was flat yesterday, low volume and trading, pretty tight within a range. And that's something I have been speaking to you guys quite a lot about just knowing when to sit flat. Yesterday we were trading between that 870 and 850 level and not really doing too much in terms of my liking. So I hope that you guys are having a great week and didn't get caught up in any of that chop yesterday. I hope that how's your week been so far, Hoa? See you on stream here. Any questions in the live chat, make sure to put it in as well. We'll go over a few edgeful statistics as well, of course, as always. Okay. We'll go over a few edgeful statistics. We'll bring that up. Just got to log in. Yeah, I hope that your guys' week has been pretty solid. Okay, we got up here. Okay, so we can see, and I have made a video on this that's coming out on my YouTube channel as well. Nothing break even and small losses. Yeah, Ho, it's been tough price action. We can see as well. Today is really the 10th of December, but look at NVIDIA. We just got a NVIDIA. Look at NVIDIA volume in December, how it just drops off. Obviously, there is a lot of bank holidays and market close days, so that could obviously be skewed, but still, it does drop off. And if we just go to NVIDIA as well, over here, okay, that we didn't really do a whole bunch of this yesterday either. We kind of just stayed inside the opening range. We actually didn't have a 5-minute closure above or below that opening range, and that just confirms that this volume has just dried up on the video. We haven't really been doing much, and obviously that will impact the way that ES moves. Pretty crazy that we haven't have locked in some profits by just looking for smaller moves. Yeah, that's kind of like, if I'm going to take a trade, I'm definitely going to be looking for smaller moves on these, with these market conditions. I agree with that. 100%. Yeah, it's been very, very tough to find bigger moves in for sure. So, that was my trade from Monday on NASDAQ, and then yesterday on ES just sat flat. We do have, however, some news today. We got FOMC later today as well. So please be careful during the market open today. Don't get stuck trying to chase. We have FOMC at 9 p.m. This is South African time, so 3 p.m. Or 2 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, 7 hours behind. 2 p.m. Eastern. So FOMC today. So my game plan today, all this pre-market prep, is to keep things simple. If I find a nice trade, I'll be in with small size. I've got the saying that I've kind of adapted from Credeli, one of the traders that, I think you guys would have heard of, futures traders online. used to trade in the pits, big, small, or not at all. So with sizing, you got to be big, small, or not at all. Now we have taken out previous day's lows. Okay, on ES, you can see that white dotted line coming across my screen. If you go to the previous day's range report on ES, let's bring that up. We can see that when we do take out the previous day's lows, let's go to make sure that the daily time frame is switched on for this. We have a 59% chance of closing as a red there. Obviously, let's have a look at the last 2 years, because obviously this year we have been seeing new highs on markets. But interesting if you look 5 years, but 65% in the last 2 years, and even 5 years, that would include that 2022 bear market. Make it a little bit more interesting. Let's have a look here. 70% chance of closing as a red day in the last 5 years. Now, obviously, you know, if you look at just year to date, so just this year, it's all dropped because this year has been obviously a bullish market trend. Yesterday, we actually took out the lows on NASDAQ. We took out that pre-market low, the previous day's low. You can see we swept it, previous day's low, and when we rally up. So a nice little move on NASDAQ there that maybe I could have been involved in. But I still don't think it was my move, and I just stayed flat. So just the one trade for me this week. I've locked in some payouts across some prop firm accounts. So I'm just going to be trading my personal and a few of the other like challenges, combines, call them whatever you want to. The rest of this December, I've locked in some good gains across some of those accounts, and don't want to give anything back. I think in these market conditions, it's tricky as well. Look, on NQ, we've taken our previous day's highs, okay? But if we go to ES, we've taken our previous day's lows. So a little bit of, you know, divergence between the two. If we go to YM, I think took out the previous day's lows. Yeah, YM took out the previous day's lows. So NASDAQ taking out the previous day's highs, whereas ES and YM taking out the previous day's lows. Let's see what they're saying here on CNBC. Anything that we can maybe speak about. Let's go to Pro News. How much weight do you put on smaller report timeframes such as the 1 and 3 months to try and see market shifting? I do have a look at them for sure. Like opening candle continuation is one that I do look at from a smaller time frame perspective, you know, because markets are always changing. That's why you always have to stay up to date with them. So if you look at the opening candle continuation reports, which is that first hour, make sure we got the first hour switched on here. So we can see on, let's go to NASDAQ, something I like on NASDAQ particularly. Okay, if the NASDAQ closes bullish in year to date, 70% chance if that first hour closes bullish that we will close as a bullish closing day, and then vice versa for the short, 65% of the time. But if you go, let's go to last month. Let's see how this has performed in the last month. 83 for the longs and 50%. That's 30 minutes. Let's go to the first hour. I prefer the first hour. 84% for the longs, 55% for the shorts. Last, and then year to date, 80 and 72. So you can see the shorts haven't been working in the last month. You can clearly see that first hour closing. And then in the last 3 months, 79 and 67. So yes, definitely, I definitely do like to look at that. Let's just have a look at anything interesting here on the Pro News that we can maybe bring up. Anyone got any questions on any reports that you would like to maybe cover? Anything like that? We have been running these pre-market streams a little bit longer these days. But anyone got any questions on any reports that they would like me to cover as well? Can see ES now coming up off that previous day's lows as well. So that's interesting. Ahoa, any trades? I know some guys have been looking at AMD in the chat here. I know yesterday someone took this breakout, which was pretty nice. You guys know I love using the opening range. Someone took this opening range breakout. here at 221 and got out the previous day's highs at 223.75. So that was a nice breakout on AMD. And if we have a look at that, okay, let's go to that opening candle continuation on AMD. This was the last 3 months. First hour bullish 68, first hour bearish 72. Year to date, 76 and 77. So that's a pretty solid stat with that opening range breakout on AMD. So we've got a question here. So 2 possible entries on the orb, right? The first entry above the opening range and the second pullback entry. Which one has a higher probability on ES and NQ? Personally, the algo that I trade with edgeful takes that first entry. That's exactly correct. There's that first entry. So what Mani is basically speaking about is, this is actually a brilliant example on AMD yesterday. There's this first entry that you can take. Okay, the breakout entry, you could go stop middle of the range or underneath structure or underneath VWAP, which is usually what I do. And you're taking that first initial breakout. The second entry is a pullback, and we hold the opening range high, and then we're looking for that bounce continuation play. Personally, I like to take both. It just depends on what momentum we have in markets, what markets are doing at that current point in time. But I think, you know, personally for me, I like to trade both. It just depends on each and every single given day what is actually setting up. But that's a good question. That is exactly what I am looking for each and every single day when it comes to markets. Looking for the breakout of orb, if there is structure to trade off of, if there's a place to put my stop loss, and how much room we have to my next level. Yesterday, I felt on ES when we did break the highs. Okay, let's just go over here. When we broke the high of here, this is another great example. We break the highs, we pull back. You could take this continuation play of here. I just didn't feel we had enough room that I wanted to be involved in to take it to that next level. But that is exactly what I am looking for, 100%. So that's a good observation. You clearly are listening on streams. Now, obviously, everyone's got their own way of trading. That's just how I like to trade with the orb. But yeah, we actually are coming back up. So levels on ES that I am watching today at the moment is obviously going to be this previous day's lows zone, and then back up towards these highs here at previous day's highs as well, back up to that 870 zone where we have been trading in between. But I have spoken about this on streams right now, is that you don't want to be pushing end of the year. You want to be playing things slower, you know, finding spots in the market that could possibly set up for entries, and then just taking it one day at a time. Volume on ES and NQ has also dropped. Okay, we have spoken about the one on the video, but obviously ES and NQ also dropped. So if you look at ADR, okay, on ES right now is 18 points. End of November, this was trading in the 50s. Okay, end of November, this was trading well up into the, you can see 38, 57 points. So, you know, definitely volume has already started to dry up, and that's just that just tells me that I need to be more picky with my entries and what I am looking for. Some good questions. Any other questions in the chat here for pre-market prep? However, if you got any trades that you maybe want to send through, some interesting things as well. We are trading underneath weekly view app at the moment. So to obviously be a level that I am looking at, and that I have had at that 870 level, we're trading underneath weekly view app as well. So yeah, I mean, markets have been trying to come back up off that lows. What's up, Luigi? Good to have you on. At the moment on ES, we are, you know, give or take 1.5% off all-time highs. So yeah, it's been some good questions here in the chat so far. We'll run for another 10 minutes or so. Any more questions, any more thoughts? Tesla had a nice breakout yesterday. So that's sometimes when you don't take the first breakout, you might miss the continuation play. I missed this move on Tesla yesterday. for me, probably was the trade of the day. We break out the opening range low. You could probably go stop at the other side of the orb. Pretty big stop on it, but that just continues moving higher into the rest of the day. It was quite weird yesterday. We end up coming down on ES and NQ, but Tesla just ripped back up to those previous days' highs. So that is sometimes when you don't take the first orb breakout, you might miss the move, but it doesn't mean that you just need to jump in. And that was a pretty solid move on Tesla yesterday. And we are trading higher pre-market as well, up 0.52%. Mag 7 stocks at the moment. Yesterday, the reason also why I didn't participate in any moves was simply because the Mag 7 was giving a bit of a mixed tape. Tesla trading higher, but all the other stocks were down, and I just couldn't find anything too solid. Yeah, my month's been solid so far. I've had a good month. Was flat on Tuesday. I still need to update, get my broker reports in from Monday. Been a bit slack, that's all. But yeah, I'm green on the month so far. So I think going into the rest of the month, I'm just going to be taking it slow and steady. As mentioned, I've locked in some prop firm payouts. I'm just been trading my personal account right now to end the year and downsizing the risk on that. Yeah, been a solid month so far, and November was pretty good too. So a good end to the year, and I think that's what you want going into December. You don't want to be pushing trying to make your year. I've had a pretty solid year trading. You don't want to be trying to force things and try and make your year. You want to be, picking your spots wisely and taking it from there. That's How's your month been, Luigi? How's your month been your side? But yeah, obviously that big one today is going to be FOMC, right? So if I don't find anything clean heading into before FOMC, I will probably be flat until then. How's your guys' month been? Mondi, Luigi? I've been placed trades in December 1st and December 2nd, been flat ever since, can't find my spot, not comfortable placing trades. Yeah, and that's kind of been where I've been at the moment the last couple of days. I just haven't found anything too exciting to get myself going. So what I want you to have a look at here is this screener as well. So something that I love using, especially after the first hour has played out. You guys would have seen me use this on Monday. Is if you go over here and you select all, make sure you select this daily bias, and the screener will come up and basically give you an outline of maybe what direction to be trading at. It will give you that overall bias at the top, and something that I really enjoy. Edgeful AI is live. So make sure to come and check this Edgeful AI out. What are the 10 most popular reports? You guys should be able to be using this. And I think it does, I'm definitely going to be playing around with it in my spare time while not in market hour sessions too, right? Yeah, good so far. Keeping it small, nice money. Yeah. Interesting to see the currencies, if the currencies tend to drop off as well. So if we just go to the report section, let's just go to currencies. I haven't traded a currency pair in ages, but let's just go to pound dollar. Let's go to volume trends. Yeah, currencies also do drop off in December. This in the last 5 years. So very, very interesting. And this is where, I just think you don't want to be digging yourself a hole in to start 2026. Anyone taking any payouts recently with some prop firms? I think it's a great, to end off the year. It's great to be putting yourself in a position to be writing your goals out for the next year as well, right? Write your goals out. What are your plans? What are your thoughts? What are your goals for the next year as well? And setting yourself up for a good 2026. I think I could have done that a little bit better at the start of this year. I had a tougher start to the year. My son was born in the beginning of the year, and I think I should have just taken off of the whole February. He was born in the beginning of Feb. I think I should have just taken off the whole of Feb. I didn't realize how busy it does get. But I think if I planned a little bit better, I would have put myself in a much better position to not get caught up in a drawdown to start the beginning of this year across my personal and my prop firm accounts as well. So yeah, anyone taken any payouts on any prop firms recently? I know a lot of guys probably are trading with prop firms, as well as, I always say you should be doing both prop firms and personal capital. What about NQ this morning? So yeah, we spoke a little bit about it. Some divergence between the tape here. We got NQ that's taken our previous day's highs, a white dotted line, and then we have ES and NQ that have taken out the ES and YM that have taken out the previous day's lows. So still levels on NQ that I would be looking at. We are trading at that weekly view up at the moment. Still levels that I would be looking for on NQ would be these highs here up at 25,720, and then still these lows here at 25,630. 630. Yeah, no date on the center. I was hoping to take a payout on my birthday, December 31st, but not going to get there since I'm staying small at the end of the year, trading a little bit rougher. Yeah. If you are in a position to take payouts, it's obviously fantastic. But if you are still working towards some, don't blow up the accounts. As I said, start off the year 2026 on the back foot. So that's some levels on NQ. As I said, we have FOMC today. Keep it tight. Pick your spots. If there is any continuation plays or plays that I like, I will be looking for them. But if there's not, then we'll wait for FOMC to happen. It's the last one of the year, obviously, and then we pick our spots from there. Yeah, we may have the low day, half day already. Yeah, possibly. I mean, ES I spoke about also ADR on ES, and the indexes have also dried up too. Last end of November, we were trading in the high 50s, 30 and above on ADR, average daily range on ES. And now we back on 18. I mean, that's literally nothing, on ES. So we can clearly see with that data as well that, you got to learn to pick your spots in markets. And I think it's obviously sounds counterproductive and it's a lot easier said than done, but not every single day is a day to be pushing and looking to find, massive winners, massive runners. Sometimes days are just here to be, to sit on your hands, observe and mark out potential plays. As I said, I know it sounds a lot easier said than done and counterproductive because obviously you're not going to be making any money, but you're also not going to be losing any money. I'll be live with Andre. Andre will be back live on Friday on the edgeful live stream, but then I am in my live stream this morning, okay, at 9:25 a.m. Eastern time start. So if you come click the link in my bio, you can check out Edgeful as well. You actually do get a free trial through there. And then my live trading room as well. You can hit that link in my bio too. The DAX this morning moving lower. I know some guys managed to get a little bit of a low of their VWAP break over here, an opening range breakout too. So in the London session, nice opening range breakout, and you're getting the push back towards the lows. That was a nice trade on the DAX this morning. But again, the DAX as well, if you go to ADR, so that's for the guys in London session. At the moment, 18, okay, which 180 points. Whereas middle of November, we're trading at, back 300 points. You see how much we have dropped off. 30, and now we're trading at 18. So not time to be pushing, time to be, I know I sound like a broken record, but just time to be consolidating. And these moves just aren't easy to take advantage of, and I think you just have to keep it tight and lock up, not looking to be pushing in market conditions like this, right? So yeah, we'll give it another minute or two. I hope that you guys have had a great week so far and not, putting too much damage on your trading accounts. We'll see you guys in my live stream today, and then again on Friday I'll be on with Andre, and then obviously as always Wednesday through to Friday for pre-market prep. What are your thoughts on the Fed rate and the contracts ending at the same time? Well, yeah, that just tells me that it's time to be extra cautious, right? We'll have the rollover and the Fed rate cut at the same time. It's just, it's not time to be attacking. I think it's time to be picking your spots a lot more wisely. That's what that tells me. Some good questions here. Sloth, what prop firms are you trading with at the moment? What prop firms are you trading with at the moment? Your side. So you got the top one futures badge next to you. Trader Fine top one. Yeah, nice. Instant funded, right? Are you trading those instant funded accounts? Or the challenge? Yeah, instant funded. Nice. Yeah, they can be a little bit more expensive, the instant funded, but obviously you don't have to pass a challenge to get there, which is quite nice. I like doing a little bit of a mix of instant funded and challenge accounts, and then pair that with a personal trading account. You can in for good, in a good position. Any other questions though? Hoa, Joe, Max, Nash, Tony. Appreciate you guys all being on. And of course, you guys, Luigi, Mandy, and you guys being on in the live chat too. We'll make sure to keep these coming. I'll be still on the pre-market streams over here, and just getting yourself, you guys, just putting the right mental frame, to be seeing what I'm seeing. I'm not saying I'm right every single day. We could have massive move today, but I think you have to come into each and every single day with a plan. If you don't, you set yourself up for poorer trading days. And if you don't plan, that's when you end up sometimes going on tilt. You take that first loss, and then you try and push in a market that is not there to be pushed at. We had a trader that I work with. He took these great longs. He got long here at 25,620 yesterday. He got out at the highs, I think at like 720, so a nice 100-point move. And then he tried to take this continuation play up at the highs here, and was lucky to get out at break even. And I told him, you're in a trade for like 2 hours, and then you think you're going to get a continuation play up at the highs. It's not going to happen in this type of market environment. It's not going to happen in this type of market environment. So have coming into each and every single day with a plan. And I was reading, you guys know that I love reading that Mancini, Substack. Losses come from forcing trades where there's no edge, meaning if you're trying to catch all the moves or all of any move, you have lost before you began, because it's impossible. No edge can do that. So you're not going to catch every single move or even all of the moves. So I'll leave you guys with that. I hope that you guys have a great trading day. I'm going to be here live on my trading room as always on ASFX TV. So make sure to hit that link in my bio. We do have a free month right now. And then we'll see you guys here in the edgeful Discord the rest of the day. So it's all my side. I hope that you guys have a great rest of the day. Stay in contact with me if you need anything. And we'll see you guys then. Cheers, everyone.